Welcome back to the epic battles of Pennywise versus Deadpool. Before we dive into the analysis, I just want to say that I am truly very grateful to you. Pennywise versus Deadpool is a classic confrontation between psychic power, ancient magic, and limitless regeneration, with the outcome depending on who can exploit their advantages more effectively. Deadpool holds the edge in recovery ability, madness, and immunity to fear, while Pennywise grows stronger through fear and wields terrifying magical power, yet can be defeated if his victim does not feel fear, something Deadpool does not experience, leading many people to favor Deadpool. Pennywise is not merely a frightening horror figure, but an ancient embodiment of the most primal fear within the human mind. This supernatural entity exists beyond conventional notions of good and evil, lurking in the shadows and patiently observing every trembling heartbeat of its prey. Pennywise's most terrifying ability does not lie in claws or sharp fangs, but in limitless transformation. He can assume any form, from familiar humans to grotesque creatures, even merging both into a distorted image that shatters the mind. Even so, the form Pennywise favors most is still the clown, with blazing red hair, icy silver eyes, and a blood-red smile that carries a false sense of playfulness. Behind that mask lies a malevolent intellect, refined enough to read the deepest hidden fears of every child. Pennywise does not attack at random. He waits patiently, shaping his form to perfectly match the personal nightmare of his victim. When fear surges, he absorbs it like nourishment, turning panic into power and making himself increasingly difficult to destroy. What makes Pennywise even more terrifying is the cold detachment of his existence. He is never hurried, never enraged, only silently spreading fear across generations, treating human suffering as an endless feast. Beneath the horrific exterior Pennywise displays, there exists a quiet yet equally ruthless ability, the power to remain completely hidden from the world of adults. This invisibility is not limited to appearance, but also extends to all physical effects he causes. When Pennywise appears near an adult, the entity still exists and still acts, yet only the child he targets can see and feel his presence. Pennywise understands this immature psychology and exploits it through subtle mental manipulation. He plants doubt, distorts perception, and causes the victim to gradually lose the ability to resist. Fear does not erupt all at once, but is prolonged, tightening little by little until the mind is completely paralyzed. Pennywise's familiar domain is the vast sewer system beneath the town of Derry in Maine, where light rarely reaches and painful memories have been buried for generations. There, he watches, waits, and chooses the right moment to strike. The first massacre that occurred in that damp darkness did not merely begin a chain of tragedies, but carved a warning that Derry was never truly safe. Beyond the horrifying abilities already known, Pennywise also possesses a power that completely collapses the boundary between human and monster, the ability to possess living bodies and wear their identities like a flawless skin. Not only appearance, but also gestures, voice, and surface memories are coldly copied, causing those around the victim to never realize that a replacement has taken place. The terror lies in the fact that Pennywise does not rush to reveal his true nature. He prefers to blend into everyday life, observing and manipulating from within. And with extraordinary longevity, nearly approaching the concept of immortality, it is believed that Pennywise has existed for more than 15 billion years, older than many civilizations and the collective memory of humanity. He falls into a long slumber lasting 27 years, then awakens as part of an unbreakable cycle of fate. Each return brings refined illusions, from balloons floating in defiance of natural laws to controlling inanimate objects as if they possess souls of their own. Behind this seemingly exaggerated exterior lies astonishing physical strength, speed far beyond human reflexes, and near-perfect regenerative ability. Pennywise also invades the minds of his prey through telepathy, reading thoughts, twisting emotions, and turning fear into invisible chains that bind the victim within an inescapable nightmare. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon and enable notifications so you can watch the earliest videos. Thank you very much. Deadpool is a superhero in whom madness and power coexist within an unpredictable form. He shares many similarities with Wolverine, not only because they both emerged from the Weapon X or Weapon Plus programs, but also because of shattered memories that are stitched together and filled with painful gaps. Deadpool once stood among the ranks of the X-Men and the Avengers, even though his view of morality has always drifted away from the standard path revered by traditional heroes. He fights not for lofty ideals, but for personal choice, sometimes selfish, sometimes unexpectedly humane. Deadpool's regenerative ability even surpasses that of Wolverine, to the point where the boundary between life and death nearly loses its meaning. He can regenerate his body from unimaginable damage and has repeatedly restored even brain tissue after it was destroyed. when physical pain is no longer enough to teach him fear or caution. Even so, Deadpool's raw physical strength is only on par with Captain America, not in terms of skill or tactics, but purely in muscular force. He cannot compare to Colossus in brute strength, and for that reason Deadpool chooses swords, guns, and cunning as his primary weapons. To him, pulling a trigger requires very little effort, and sometimes that alone is more than enough to end everything. Deadpool is a breaker of all familiar boundaries within the superhero world, not only because of his madness, but also because of the unbelievable feats he has left behind. He has taken down guards, confronted and killed Spider-Man, and even overcome notorious villains such as Doctor Doom. In these encounters, Deadpool displays rare flexibility, reflexes as fast as survival instinct, constantly moving and attacking in ways that prevent opponents from adapting. Deadpool is proficient in martial arts and skilled with nearly every type of weapon, from close combat to long-range firepower. However, his most dangerous weapon is his irritating personality, constantly hurling taunts that distract opponents and cause them to lose their composure. His close combat ability is truly surpassed only by those who have devoted their entire lives to martial arts or who possess overwhelming physical power. Deadpool's accuracy with firearms is nearly perfect, surpassed only by individuals whose aiming is enhanced by special superpowers. In terms of speed, he is not the fastest, but his enduring stamina allows him to move without rest, enough to turn any fight into a war of attrition that he is always ready to drag out to the very end. Deadpool's most enduring strength has never been found in flashy blows or complex tactics, but in his nearly limitless capacity to endure. Wade Wilson can withstand an amount of damage sufficient to bring down any other warrior, be beaten until his body is grotesquely deformed, and still rise again as if pain were nothing more than a cruel joke. What truly sets Deadpool apart is the mental resolve to keep fighting even when his body has not yet fully healed. Wade Mind is a chaotic labyrinth where multiple personalities coexist and argue without end. Opposing voices that represent order and chaos constantly collide, sometimes making even the Hulk appear more mentally stable. The deeper Deadpool digs into himself, the more fragments of his own identity he uncovers. Yet it is precisely this fragmentation that becomes his unique shield. In a world filled with mind readers and mental manipulators, very few dare to intrude into Wade's twisted brain. Even the most powerful entities can easily lose their way and pay a heavy price if they attempt to control him. This makes even the X-Men wary, despite the fact that they have often opened their arms to former enemies who once spread terror among them. At times, discretion becomes the greatest advantage of a mercenary assassin, and Deadpool does not always wish to create chaos with gunfire and explosions. There are missions in which Wade Wilson chooses a quieter approach, silently closing in on his target before delivering the final blow. By nature, this confrontation is brutal between two entities that refuse to submit. Deadpool charges at Pennywise with guns and blades in his familiar brazen manner, tearing apart the monster form again and again. Pennywise collapses and then recovers, his twisted body regenerating in silent rage, while Deadpool casually chops off his head as if handling a tedious chore. This cycle repeats until the one thing Pennywise expects never appears: fear. However, Deadpool does not possess mystical supernatural powers like Pennywise, and his offensive capability is limited by weapons and physical strength that are high but not unreasonable. In contrast, Pennywise is bound by his own nature. He needs terror to grow stronger and requires trembling prey to exist in full. Deadpool madness renders every attempt at intimidation meaningless. At first, Pennywise may startle him, but that feeling quickly fades and is replaced by explosive irritation once Deadpool realizes he is being toyed with. When there is no fear left to fuel his power, Pennywise weakens and becomes vulnerable, even if he cannot be completely destroyed. Deadpool knows the ancient rituals and clearly understands the fatal weakness of his opponent. That knowledge, combined with a chaotic mind, forms the finishing blow. Pennywise is forced to retreat into the sewers, waiting another 27 years in the hope that fear will return. Although Pennywise is stronger overall, that very weakness seals his defeat against someone who knows no fear. Pennywise is very powerful, possessing super speed, strength, soul-draining deadly light, shape-shifting, and a sharp mouth used for swift biting. However, Deadpool can recover from nearly any injury. If Pennywise can use the deadly light, then perhaps Deadpool would win. However, Deadpool's mind is also enhanced to resist possession and telepathic power, so it is possible that he would be immune to the deadly light. If Pennywise shows Deadpool his worst fear, I still doubt whether that would be enough to cause psychological damage to Deadpool. Deadpool fears nothing because he cannot die, which is also why he is careless in combat. If Deadpool does not fear Pennywise, that would make it easier for him to defeat Pennywise. Deadpool wins. What do you think about this battle? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you all very much.